In this video, I'm going to talk about two methods. You can significantly improve your answers for the purpose of a job interview. I believe this makes sense, especially in today's marketplace where there are fewer jobs for more candidates. So I believe it makes sense to talk about taking more risk with your answers and basically to improve your chances to bias and influence the interviewer towards you. Right? The first method I'd like to talk about here would be to dramatize your answers. So instead of using this classic star format, you would want to dramatize a little bit in those examples. Speaking of examples, if you get asked something on the lines of what's your most innovative idea, a classic answer to this question could be something on the lines of, sure, we had a product suite, a web-based product with multiple modules, and the challenge was a faulty script which was crashing around 2% of those pages because it was always inserted on the top of the web page. And for this, I came up with a patent pending algorithm to decide where is the best place on the web page to insert that script so it no longer crashed. And actually we implemented and we reached 100% accuracy for this, and our customers were happy. Right, so nothing wrong with this answer. It's a classic star answers. I believe it's not much more to talk about this one. However, if you wanted to dramatize a little bit and to make it sound more impactful, you could go with something on the lines of what's your most innovative idea? Sure, I remember it was a couple of months ago we had a challenging problem in our web application because of a faulty script. 2% of our pages were crashing, and some of our customers have completely lost trust in us and not just disabled those modules altogether, but also were considering leaving our platform. Right, so the situation was pretty serious. So I had to bring in my A game, and for this, me and my colleague came up with a patent pending script to quickly and accurately resolve that problem by determining what's the best place to insert itself in any web page. And actually, this patent pending idea is something we intend to commercialize as a standalone product as well. But speaking of the business, this helped me to not only to fix the problem, but also successfully present it to our customers and gradually regain their trust, both in our product, but more importantly, in our business. And with time, we haven't lost any customer due to this challenge, right? So notice here how the first situation was presented. Yeah, we had the bug in and I came up with a script to fix it. The second way you dramatize it, say we had a critical bug and actually our customers were leaving because of this, so I had to bring in my A game, right? So this would be the dramatization, something you could seriously consider in your own answers as well, not just in the situation or task, but also in other parts of your star answer, right? So this would be the first method to make your answer sound more impactful and to increase your chances to bias the interviewer towards you. Now, the second method I'd like to talk about here would be how to answer the weakness question. Okay, so the classic approach to answer the weakness question would be to go with something which is non-essential from the job description, something nice to have, or even would go with something completely off the job description, that is, public speaking, right? Because on the reasoning that, hey, public speaking, you cannot get disqualified because of the public speaking. The worst can happen, they ask you for a second weakness, and then it goes like this, right? So there's nothing wrong with going a weakness that's something not crucial to the job that you're applying for. In fact, 99% of the people do this. But recently I worked with someone who was applying for a product strategist role for the ads business of a major corporation. And we had this challenge of determining what's the best way to pitch their weakness. And he actually has a pretty impressive CV. He worked in the banking industry for many years, investment banking and data science. He was pretty skilled at what he was doing, and he basically had the necessary skills to get the job. And basically, he proposed that if they asked the weakness question, they would they would really want to pitch that, hey, I don't have any experience with the ads sector, which was the first thing mentioned in the job description. We are looking for someone to lead our ads team. It was the strategy of the ads and monetization platform, right? And while the candidate had absolutely no specific experience with the ads from a business perspective, he had experience with everything else in the job description. He was really qualified candidate. So basically, in this circumstance, he decided to pitch exactly the ads business. Like, my weakness is I don't have any experience in the ads business. From a business perspective, I might have from the consumer side, but anyway, that's another story. And the way he pitched this, I don't have an experience with the ads business, but I have experience in leading cross-functional teams, in innovation, and in so on and so forth, made a little bit of sense, but it wasn't. I believe that the trick, if you want here, is to make a stark contrast. So if you say, hey, my weakness is the core to the job description, then you must really bring in your A game as to why you're still super qualified for these things. And the way he went about it in the first try, it was a bit vague in general, because I'm a quick learner, because I led multiple teams, because I have a proven track record of innovation. So it was not specific enough, right? However, once he started to be more specific, hey, I came up with this innovation in the data science and the financial industry, which is used by many other companies, many other banks nowadays. I led these three teams over the course of 5 years very successfully, and I'm a quick learner. I guarantee you that I can learn everything there is to know about ads within 2 weeks of joining your team, right? So if you manage to create that contrast, the stark contrast, and to pitch yourself using the story behind the weakness, then I believe this could be also a winning strategy for you for a job interview, right? So even if the classic advice, you'll find 99% of people saying that on the weakness story, you don't go with something core to the job description. You could eventually go with something core to the job description, because the key is how you pitch that weakness in the first place, right? So it's not about the weakness, but about the story. You use this. And in the same fashion of going against the traditional advice for job interviews, you could even, if you're getting asked, tell me about time and you have to deal with an ambiguous situation, right? You could, even if you're not asked for a failure story, you could answer with the failure story, because you would sell yourself on your learnings, right? So this would be exactly the same thing. The traditional advice on your job interview, hey, but you sell yourself on your strength, only positive experiences, and so on and so forth, unless they ask you for a failure, which will be a disaster for most candidates who don't prepare this. But if you are someone comfortable to interview, and remember, my candidate was with a background in the banking and investment banking industry, that's where behavioral interviews come from. So they are good with these things. But long story short, even if they don't ask you for a failure story, you could answer it with a failure, on the reasoning that you have some amazing learnings to put on the table, because those amazing learnings would create a significant impact for the purpose of a job interview, and again, bias the interviewer towards you, and either pass to the next round, either land the job offer with them, right? So just a quick recap here: dramatize your answers, see if you can dramatize, see if they could benefit from dramatization. Second, on the weakness, don't be afraid to go with something core, because it's all about the story you're using to back that weakness, right? And even consider answering behavioral question in job interview with failures if you have some amazing learnings, right? So I hope this made sense for you, and thank you very much for watching.